Hey everybody, it's John Osborne here, also known as Trader John O. You can follow me on StockTwits and Twitter. We're doing the FX Educational Outlook for April 6, 2017. First thing I wanted to remind you is that tomorrow morning, which is Friday the 7th, is non-farm payroll at 8:30 Eastern Time. Therefore, much of the markets will be or have been idling, waiting to find out when that news or what that news is going to be. It's one of the bigger news movers along with FOMC news, and we have to watch what happens right around 8:30 at that news, and the markets could reverse direction or go strongly in the original direction. So therefore, it's a good idea to not take a new trade and tighten up your stops in any existing trades that you might have. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our trades we've been watching. The loonie yen bouncing off this support line of 82.010, which is just the previous pivot. We were wondering if it was going to break through there, but it's really bounced kind of hard. We can see it on the daily line that it's just penetrating just by a little bit of that support line and bouncing back up again. So that's not surprising with non-farm payroll, in that it can take a little time for that to pan out before we see movement. So let's see what happens. Same thing with the euro yen. You can see we've bounced and we crossed that trend line that we've been watching here, but we haven't crossed it on the weekly yet, so we'll be watching for that. We already have crossed it on the monthly. For the euro US dollar, again, we're sitting along this trend line, still haven't broken through it with that much strength. We broke through it just a little bit earlier in the day, but it ended up pushing right back up again, and we're nearing that point. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us either bounce in a hard direction or break through it. If we do break down through it, watch this next support below here at about 1.05992. For the pound Swissy, you can see we're still in this pennant, although we're breaking out of that on the weekly. We can still say we're in it in the daily, but we're moving up. Remember, we moved up after we broke through this trend line here, and we went up and almost touched this previous pivot up here and then reverse back down again. So again, we're kind of flattening out as we near that news. And finally, for the pound US dollar, again, we're seeing a flattening out as we near that news event, and we're going to watch this trend line here across these tops. You can see during the day today we went up and touched that almost to the tick, to the pip. So let's see what happens if we're going to break above that or bounce down through this. You can almost put in a pennant here. I'm noticing that we could draw in from these points back here and watch this line as a possible pennant as well. Okay, and that'll do it for today. Remember, non-farm payroll at 8:30 Eastern Time Friday morning.